3 internationals, 12 Irish players going on the summit tour, and 13 British and Irish Lions if you count Caelan Doris, who's injured. No, that's not a provincial team, guys. That's a phenomenal provincial team. That must be the best Leinster team. And again, I know it's going to be headlines because old players will say I'm not giving credit to, but that must be one of the best Leinster squads they've ever had. I mean, I was sitting now, I'll say, standing with Leo, and he told me when Kevin Putt played here, how Kevin used to say how amateurish Leinster were, drinking in the week. And I mean, fast forward now. I mean, now you guys are, I say it over and over, you're the benchmark of what clubs are trying to achieve. You've got international coaches, you've got foreigners that come in and they take your team to another level. I say it again, I'm envious, really envious, because if you're going to fight fire with fire and you want to go to a gunfight, you can't go with a knife. Sorry, are we going here now?
Yeah. Could we have 2 questions from the Zoom, please?
If I can go, Lunga, Sasha. Hi, Jake.
I'm good, yeah. Jake, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry, Sim.
How's it? During the week, you said, just to take you back to the game, you said you were praying for rain.
Yes.
Was that a help or a hindrance today?
Yeah, I was just praying for rain because I thought we'd have more stop-start rugby, and I thought, to be fair, we'd probably have more scrums. But in hindsight, thank God it didn't rain, because then we would have had even more scrums. So I just wanted to be, I mean, weather is a leveler. And anyone who, it's the way it works. Weather is a leveler, and I thought that playing against such a international laden team that's desperate to do well, that maybe the rain would have been a positive factor for us. So to answer your question, I don't think it made any difference today, but I was hoping that it would be pelting down.
And then last one, obviously after 3 finals, which you haven't been able to get over the line, today was pretty certain that you were the underdogs anyway. After that, though, where to for you and for the team?
Yeah, I'm going on holiday. That's where I'm going. Players are joining the box, and the other guys will take some time off, and we'll worry about, as I said to them, there's no use talking about anything now. It's going to change anything. We'll worry about it when we get back and reassemble.
London now, then Cobus Klassen.
Jake, hi. Yes, I know this, don't take this the wrong way, but I mean, I've seen your been in your press conferences for the other finals. You seem a bit less gutted in this. Is that because just the quality of Leinster, and do you feel you're getting closer to where you need to be anyway?
I'm less gutted because I think people are so naive. I mean, I don't know what's changed, guys, from first year to now. I mean, we played Leinster and they lost 31-3 at Aviva Stadium. And what's changed? What do you think's changed for us? So we've got 4 years older, and believe it or not, they've got 4 years older. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not less gutted. And I think, obviously, when you lose a final, but I'm also just completely and utterly realistic. And I'm more frustrated because I knew it's like watching a horror movie, and you think the ending is going to be different. I've coached the Brumbies to beat the British and Irish Lions. The way you do that is you actually need the big sides to play badly. So, dreamers are guys that think that you take youngsters and you just wave a wand and you beat international players. I mean, Mondays, a lot of those guys are assembling to play the British and Irish Lions. Do you think they didn't want Andy Farrell to have a look and see how they perform today? So all I can say, Brendan, I'm not taking it the wrong way at all. I think sometimes the problem is you guys take it the wrong way. You're in a dream world if you think that a club team that's made up of, I counted, we had 8 guys who weren't internationals finishing off the game. Now, I mean, how do you expect 8 non-international players who've just come into the club and they're playing provincial rugby to beat Ireland? So no, I'm not less gutted. Please don't. But I'm just more, I suppose, maybe more frustrated. Maybe I'm gonna, maybe I'm gonna have to rethink about where we are as a group and what we can do. And I can only control the controllables. We can make guys a year older. That's also why I put all those guys on, Brett. I put every single guy on because I want them to learn what pressure is. 46,000 people baying for your blood, team rampant. And I want them to be in that cauldron and feel what it feels like. I'm not going to protect them and put them in the stands because I want to make the score 25-14 and not 32-7. So yeah, I'm not, please don't get me wrong. I'm not less gutted. I'm just, nobody in this competition has played Leinster with their full strength team in a final since we've been playing. Nobody. So I'm sure every other coach that caught this team, any other team caught this team today in the URC would have exactly gone through what we went through today. Any other of those 15 teams.
Fair enough. Thanks, Jake. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Okay, go for it, Ashfaq, and then last one from Ronaldo.
Jack, I hear you, and as you say, you've beat that drum about getting the box back to South Africa and all of that. But do you still feel that perhaps there were opportunities today where you guys could have executed a bit better? You know, Ruan said afterwards on TV about implementing the game plan. The kicking game, sometimes the kicks were just a bit too far. You know, I know it's pressure, but you guys didn't play at your best either today.
No, Ashok, we didn't. And that's why I said to you is that having coached a provincial team to beat an international team, it's not just always what you do. You need them also not to be on top of their game. And when they 19-0 up after 17 minutes, and let me tell you, it could have been more. I mean, I'm glad they respected us by not tapping and running every penalty either, because they went for poles a few times. And I take that as a massive compliment. But we weren't good. And I'm not for 1 minute going to sit here and tell you that's but that's what happens. The level of the time and space and the intensity of playing test rugby, I'm not giving you a lesson, but everyone knows that. The difference between school, club, provincial rugby and test rugby is the time and space becomes less and less and less, and your skill sets are under more and more pressure. And today, all that in 40 minutes was just quicker, bigger, stronger, tougher, everything that I think that happens in test rugby happened in that first 40 minutes for me. And credit to them, because they said they wanted to. I mean, I was talking to Leo before the game and I said, hopefully the rain comes, and he said, yeah, them hopefully be 15 points up, and he was right. They were 19 points up.
And I guess just finally, Jake, if you're under the pump like that, you also don't get a rub of the green from the match officials. There were a couple of, I thought, infringements that were overlooked, and Miss Harold was pushed over there at one stage, and at 50-22, the whistle was blown before the ball went out. But yeah.
No, it's fact, we probably needed more. I mean, I actually said to PRD, I mean, Andrea, I thought he reffed quite well, So I can't, I mean, I'm really, we can't, it's not even close. And we were under the pump from the first minute. So no, I don't necessarily think the officials. In fact, I'll tell you what I really was happy with, that penalty for Harold on McCarthy was a rugby thing and incident, and there was nothing, and he handled that hell of a well. We've had situations where we would have got carded, or things would have happened. So I think the officials from the TMO right through to the ref, I'm happy the way they officiated today.
Cheers, thanks, Jake.
Hi, Coach Jake, Ronaldo here. I don't want to keep you too long. I just have two questions for you. The first one, you mentioned earlier in the week that the team obviously exceeded your expectations at that time, and you wanted to make it obviously count tonight, which unfortunately didn't happen. But you also pointed out how Leinster are the benchmark with a depth and international experience, but they are not unbeatable. In light of tonight's performance, especially considering how crucial you said the senior players were in your campaign, do you think or do you feel they delivered tonight in terms of the execution and what they were going to deliver on?
No, but I don't think it's just the senior players. I repeat myself, Ronaldo. Leinster put us under pressure. They targeted areas that we didn't think they were going to target. Well, didn't think that they could target, and they did it well. So that just has a domino effect from the front all the way to the back, you know. So we make mistakes. They kick the ball, we knock it on the halfway line, then we get a penalty for a scrum, and then all of a sudden we make another mistake on the other side of the field. So no, I don't blame it on any senior players, or we were outplayed tonight, and we were beaten by a side that I know that when they find their mojo, which they did tonight in that first 40 minutes, they're good enough to beat anybody. That side, as I said, that's the kind of side that would run out and play against all the big European clubs and beat them.
Okay, then just
We're
one
on to
last
written questions now, please, guys.
I know that there's qualities in the big finals.
Yes.
To have lost three different teams, in 4 years, is that a good time for the competition? And how do you think it's looking forward?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, Terry, to be fair. Any guy, if you're just sitting here during the week telling me how hard it is for Leinster to get over the line. But I would like everyone to understand, it's just because you go to the dance doesn't mean you're going to get the main dance every time either. And playing in 3 finals doesn't give you the right to win it. And there will always be opportunities. When I look back at last year's final, there were chances. In the first final, we were very, very young and very new. And now we played against a really good, well-balanced, oiled side. So there's going to be new challenges next year again. And I need to sit with, I suppose, decision makers and just find out what we need in order to go step up. Next year we sign Andre Pollard, so he's come in as a 10. Sign Jan Serfontein, who's a real young prodigy that from the thing was at Montpellier. So that again is 2 really good signings. Paul de Wet, the scrummer from the Stormers, who's coming to join us. And Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg, who's a lock flanker who's played at Montpellier and has played Springbok rugby as well. I'm not for 1 minute saying that's going to solve it, but we're going to have a look and see what else we need in order for our team to go to the next level, because there's no doubt that Leinster won't come backwards. Leinster will continue going forwards. And that's why, we're going to have to find a way. If we're going to win this competition the next couple of years, we're going to have to beat Leinster. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It's just by chance they haven't been in the finals in the last 4 years. It's just by chance. And I say it again, no other team has played them with a full strength team at home in a knockout game.
Overall, I think this competition looks next season.
Well, I think it's a fantastic competition. I do, not because look at that, 46,000 people at Croke Park today. That atmosphere was unbelievable. Let's be fair, it was test match like. And I'm sure it'll grow and grow and grow. And yeah, so Super Rugby started slowly. As I said to you the other day, it started slowly until people got to understand how it all works. Now, people will latch on to what this tournament's all about. And once they see internationals playing in front of them like household names, then that whole sort of URC groundswell will take off. So I would like to have one, obviously, because it helps when you have winners in your own country as well. But I have no doubt that the URC will grow legs and get better in South Africa as well from a support point of view and from an understanding point of view.
You mentioned that another new coach against them, so Stuart Black has some big influence on the game. Now also Jackson.
Yes.
Has he made them better team? And how so?
Well, just defensively tonight, you saw the added value that he does as a defense coach, and he's well known as and he made it difficult for us when we scored 7 points, and I think we've scored the second most amount of points in the competition this year, and Last year was the most, the year before was the most. So, just shows that they've obviously brought in that element of their game. And Stuart Lancaster's a lot, you guys have written about it. Stuart Lancaster had a philosophy that was an attack philosophy. Jacques come in and probably tightened up the defense. And now, the jigsaw puzzle's coming together because, you haven't moved away from attacking, and your defense has become much harder to break down. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you make, and credit to Leo too, guys. I mean, bringing guys like that, Jerry asked me, where to for the Bulls? Well, we got to find ways in which we can catch up because, I repeat, Leinster aren't going to come back towards the field. Leinster are going to keep moving forward. It's a little bit like a Formula One racing car. If your pit stop is 3 seconds and theirs is 2, and you think when you get to 2, you catch them, they're probably on 1.3 by then, and then you're still behind. So, credit, as I said, Jacques added that, and I'm sure Leo will find other things they need to get better at. And our job is now to make sure that we can try and fast track whatever we need to fast track so that we can compete, because we're going to find it hard to beat teams like this at Croke Park and Aviva if we don't catch up the things we need to catch up. Andy? That's it. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.